Well, this is new. I'm in Hokkaido. I've just landed at Wakkanai Airport and I've never been here before, and I haven't flown for 2.5 years. And it's different. For starters, to say that Japan is so first world, that looks like a lot of Eastern European airports that I've flown out of in the Eastern Bloc. And if we look over here, let me walk over to this sign. You can see the Wakkanai Airport sign. Now, the thing with Hokkaido, when you're in the far north, God, it looks like Dales. It looks like Yorkshire Dales. Now look at this sign. You've got the kanji for Wakkanai Airport, and you've got it in Russian and then in English. So English is the third language up here. Russian's the second language. You're not in Kansas anymore, Darren. That's for sure. So I'm on the bus now. You can see there is the airport over there I've just landed from. It's about 1.5 hours from Tokyo. I flew in, and over here we've got the sea. Across that bay there is Russia, and I'm heading up to Cape Soya now. Heading up to Cape Soya, and I'll pick up my bicycle and we'll start this trip. But what I've noticed with these buses, this is the first bus I've been on in Hokkaido, and you can bring your bike on here. You can bring your bike on here, you don't have to put it in a bag. You just roll it up. All the seats have been taken out of the back, and you can just leave your bike there and sit down. They'd never do this in Tokyo or Yokohama or where I live. There's just not enough room. But they do it here, and it's great. The rest of Japan should take on this idea. But hopefully I'm not going to need a bus. I'm not going to need a bus because I'm going to be cycling the entire time while I'm down here. But yeah, there's so much. I don't know where that's going, but that's just had a race with us and won. Yeah, that airport that we've just landed in, very Eastern European. You walk out and you straight out. No, obviously no customs because we're on a domestic flight. But yeah, Russian is the second language up here. Russian is the second language up here. So I don't know how I'm going to go on. Anyway, I'm going to get back to this bus ride, and I'll speak to you again when we arrive in Cape Soya. I've arrived at my hotel, which you can see is just in the background here. And it's a lot cooler, especially even further up from airport. It's much cooler than what it was around Bit Airport. But I've arrived here, the nice old couple that are in charge of this guest house. And what they've got here is they've got this garage where people send the bikes up. So the bikes get delivered here. The bikes get delivered here, and then them that are riding motorbikes can park up, do some maintenance around here, park up, and them that are on the push bikes like me send it up in a box. There's the box there I sent mine up in, and that's all the stuff that I will be travelling with. Now I've got to put my bike together now and pack it up ready for tomorrow to get off. Now you can see this, can you see this wall here? It appears that I'm not the first person to come up with this idea. So just having a look, it seems that people were doing this as far back as 2012. I've been looking on this wall and I haven't found anything older than that. But there's Hokkaido, and we are right here, right at the top. Right at the top. You go further north, you go north there, it's Russia. Okay, so I will be going to Sapporo, which is down here. So I'll be travelling all the way down this west coast and meeting up with the fam in Sapporo. And you can see there's been plenty of them that have done it. Like I say, it's not just me that's come up with this stupid idea. Well, that's the first job done. The bike's together now. I've got my bike all together now. So I've just had a test ride out on it. It's running like a dream. And now what I've got to do is I've got to get that bicycle box to get sent to my hotel in Sapporo, which I'll be there in about 9 days. So I've just finished packing my bike up. The bike's all there ready to go. And now I've got to get this box to the post office and get it sent to my hotel in Sapporo. So I think it's a bit too big to be carrying it when I'm cycling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk it down there. The box is on its way to Sapporo now, and I just sent it off from that post office there. And that's the most northern post office in Japan. So I've tried and failed twice now to get a photo at the most northern point of Japan. So I'm going to go cycle there now. And take one myself. Now the people have been really nice and tried to take the photo of me, but they've not got the sign, so people won't know where I am. So I'm just going to go take it myself now. See what we can get. There it is. See, it's still pretty busy now at this time of night. And that there is Japan's most northernmost point. Right, I'm going to try and get a photo after all these crowds get out of the way. In fact, there's a bit of a queue, so I think I'm going to come back later. We've got wild deer here in the north of Japan. They're not tame, they're not going to come up to me, but you certainly don't see many of these where I live. Hello? You going to come and say hello? Hey, you're probably best to keep away. What you're seeing here is a monument to Korean flight KL-007. And on 1st of September 1983, during the Reagan administration and during Cold War, a flight took off from New York for Seoul, South Korea, and it refueled in Anchorage in Alaska. And once it had refueled, off it went into the night over the North Pacific. Now, pilot error, navigational instruments not working right, whatever happened, every 100 mile that plane flew, it veered off 7 miles to the north. Now, this was the Cold War, so the Russians were a bit sensitive, shall we say. And what everybody had to do when they were flying from America were to bypass the Russian peninsula on the east coast and fly over Japan and then into South Korea. Now what happened was, that didn't happen. They strayed into Russian airspace. They flew over the peninsula, and then an SC-10 interceptor was scrambled. The pilot was said to have pulled up alongside the airline, saw two banks of windows, and the lights were flashing, so he knew it was commercial. The ground said, shoot it down. When asked, so he shot it down. When asked, why didn't you tell the ground it was a commercial airline? He said, they never asked. So 269 people died for no reason on the 1st of September. Mostly Koreans. A couple of Brits, 26 Japanese. Now the Russians denied it for a couple of weeks, saying, oh, nothing to do with us. I don't know where the plane's gone. And then around here, around this part of the coast, body parts started washing up, so they couldn't deny it, and wreckage. And they found out that the years later, 2 decades later, no, sorry, 11 years later, they were denying it and denying it, but the Russians had gone down with the divers and got the black box and got the flight recorder and everything, and they didn't give it up. Then the Cold War finished, and the people got given, the Americans got given the black box, and it turned out it had been shot down by a Russian. It didn't go straight down, so the people on board knew what were coming, which must have been horrific. Yeah. If there's only a sign that we knew what they'd get up to in Ukraine, if there were only a sign in past that we knew what they were like, we could have dealt with it a lot easier. Oh, here's one. Here's a sign. And there they are. Koreans. 2 Brits, American, a few Thais, an Iranian. Shot down for nothing. So you've got 2 peace bells, and also you can ring a bell in the shrine. If you go to the side, it's supposed to be a bird emerging from the sea, like a phoenix from the flames. Very nice. It is very nice. But there, that's one of the things that you can see at the northernmost point of Japan. It's not very upbeat, but there you go. Hello? Have you come to say hello? In other news, to say it's so peaceful around here, there's a lot of shit that's gone on over years. So we're just down from there, you can see the top of the memorial to the plane crash, and then I've just walked down here and there's this. There's another peace memorial here, and this is for the submarine, the Wahoo S-238, the most successful American submarine in World War II. It had knocked out, how many? Sunk several ships in a 2-week raid in 1943. It were lost just out there, 12 miles out there, when after a prolonged bombing, air raid, and the ships were going at it, they sunk it. So 12 miles straight forward from here, there are 80 American soldiers at the bottom of the sea. God, it's a bit depressing round here. I thought, before I came to the top of this hill, I thought, why, it's so peaceful and nice. And then you get up here and there's stories of planes getting shot down, stories of submarines getting sunk out in bay. And you can see there, it's still crowded. That's the northernmost point of Japan. And there's still people there at 6:30 at night. But it says it's the most northern point of Japan, but over there is Benten Island. You can see it's just bathed in sunshine, and that is the most northern point in Japan. So everybody goes there for the photographs, but that island there is your last bastion of Japanese soil. Everything past is Russia. It's all Russia once you get past there, and that's why the signs are in Russian. Right, I'm gonna go get my tea. Now, my dinner should be coming at 6:30. That's what time I booked it for, and it's 6:27. 6:29. So it's come a minute early. Maybe I should complain, but look at this feast that I've been given. This feast from Hokkaido. So we've got the shellfish. We've got the shellfish here. We've got the sushi, the shrimp. The vegetables and the tofu. We've got meat, salad, a pudding, some pickles, and this is glorious. Is this miso soup? And we've got some steaming hot miso soup ready for me there. And in here, if I'm not mistaken, is the rice. Oh, it's glorious. This day's just gotten better. It's just gotten better. So, let me push this window to one side, because I am gonna open the window. I'm gonna let this I'm gonna let this fresh air wash in while I sit down and eat my dinner. Look at that. I win. I win. I've just noticed this. The attention to detail is spectacular. They've even cut out the radish in the same shape as Hokkaido. Glorious. Glorious. Well done. Finally, I've got place to myself. We've been like Piccadilly Circus every time I've come here. It's about 8 o'clock at night. Sun's gone down, and you can get a glimpse of what this monument's like. It's very nice, lit up at night. I'm going to go up and have a look. So there you've got the most northern point in Japan, right there. And that makes me the most northern person in Japan at the moment. So I'm going to go around back. I'll go around back and take a photo from in there. There you go. Let's have a look down here. So I'm right behind the most northern point in Japan. So there you are. I am on the 3rd of August at 8 o'clock at night, the most northern person in Japan. Feels a bit weird.